Welcome to another journal reveal. This time I'm going to talk about a New England road trip journal that I created, backwards to forwards, so that might be interesting for you to see. And also at the end, I'm going to go through one of my journals that's still for sale, a Christmas journal. We'll take a glance through that. I haven't seen that for a year myself, so it'll be new to me too. The idea of creating this journal from backwards to forwards is something that maybe some of you have done before, but I went on a road trip and I took a certain amount of papers with me. And as I traveled along, I took journal notes and made out what I wanted to put in the journal. And then when I got home, I created the rest of it by carrying paraphernalia back from my journey and photographs that I had printed. One of them's here. I have a little pocket there. I put these little stones on here that looked very autumnal to me because I did this in October in Wanderlust, explaining what that is. And here's the back. I took some material and just did some stenciling with some shimmery paint, and then created a pocket here if I wanted to put something in there, and sewed on the pocket all around the journal, and I actually sewed these leaves in here too. And because I didn't want Brad sticking out of the back, I sewed the little tag on here also. So let me move some of this out of the way. So I started at my home in Georgia, and I traveled all the way up to Maine in New England. It was a New England trip, obviously. And I have the map showing where I started and I went up, and here's the continuation of where I went. So I had that in there. I like that idea very much. I put some decoupage here. And this was a card that I selected from Oracle stack that seemed to mean the most of what I was going to do. Allow the path to take you where you need to go. Don't hurry it or resist it. Simply enjoy the journey. So I had already started, I wrote down the oracle there, and then I started writing what happened on the first day. Added some things that I had from my house. I have pictures covered up because for the privacy of everyone, I didn't ask them whether I could show their pictures, so it's going to look a little funny, but I know some of you do that. So here's a friend of mine holding his chicken named Goldie. He was trying to figure out what to name the rooster, and I said, well, Kurt would be the good name, and he didn't quite understand that. Maybe some of you get what I mean, and you could comment below in the comment section as to whether you got what I was talking about. And a girlfriend of mine, I stayed at her house on the way up there. She gave me some flowers that I pressed, and there were the dogs living at the house. And then we had a day out to her sister's, and I took photographs and some photographs, and the journaling that I did on that day, what we did. This was some driving directions somebody had printed out for me, and I thought I'd include them. This was an area that I was going to visit in Keene, New Hampshire. I wasn't successful. I didn't find the owner's home, so I could show them the older photograph of what the house used to look like. But I went there anyways. This is a vellum piece of a photograph that I had taken. This is Canterbury Center in New Hampshire, where my grandparents had a house. And this is me when I was very young. It seems I have an attitude right there. And part of his, my grandfather's business was, he had a Christmas tree farm. And it says Yankee Herb House. They grew lilacs and other herbs. And this was the history of my grandparents and some birch wood that I collected along the way. And this was their house, along with discovering that my grandmother's piano was still in the house, and the owner asked me if I wanted it. I couldn't attach it to the top of my car. I was so surprised her piano was still there. And this were some of my relatives that took me over to my grandparents' house, Canterbury Center, and what happened on each day here. My battery gave out on me while I was driving along, and I had to get a new battery. That was fun. This is a map of where I stayed one night. My son booked me a trip, and booked me this place to stay, and I kept the map showing where I was. I went to the Neville Lighthouse, and this is me and my older brother when we were young in 1963, and my father in 1949, and here I am in 2025, and the lighthouse. And this is I did 3 watercolors, and this is one of the watercolors that I did of the lighthouse. I did that after I came home. I tried to do plein air on site, but it didn't work. It was too windy, and people were asking me to take photographs of them. And I was also trying to eat at the same time, so that didn't work out. Here's a little pocket. Here's Maine, part of the map that I didn't include on the cover inside. I stood in line for 1.5 hours at Red's Eats, a famous place in Wiscasset, Maine. And I had this lobster roll, and here we are in the line. That's when I joined it at 5:30. I went to LL Bean, which is what this is all about right here. And this was where I stayed, Booth Bay Harbor. And this is just a postcard. Well, it's a card that I got from the Neville Lighthouse. Included that in there. Here is another of the watercolors that I did. It's at Bluebird Ocean Point Inn. I just did some stamping here, and I embossed it. Well, I took a heat gun with embossing powder, and that was the result. Shimmering. This was a painting that I did last year in autumn. This was a friend's house who lives in Rockport, Maine. They bought a church there, and I was lucky enough to stay. It was very nice. This is some river birch wood bark from their property. And we went to the Farnsworth Art Museum, where there's a lot of work from Andrew Wyeth. Here I am at the Camden Overlook, I'm sorry. This was Andrew Wyeth's father's work, N.C. Wyeth. Some more of Andrew Wyeth's work. I gathered some leaves from the trip, and I'm hoping they're going to stay intact in here. I didn't do anything except dried them out. We'll see, as long as I don't squish the journal too much. Maybe they'll stay intact. Otherwise, if they crumble, I can just throw them away. This was more of around what we did around Rockport. We went into Camden. That's the other side of the Ocean Point Inn map, so we're on the other side. This was looking out from her top of her church. When you looked up, you saw the pigeons along with their droppings. That was fun. It was funny to see them up there. And this is a little pocket that I made out of a card because we visited the Ralston Gallery, and I met the artist, Peter Ralston. He's so talented. Here's his website, ralstongallery.com, if you want to see him. He goes out there. He's based in Rockport, and he's friendly with the locals. And I heard somebody come in while I was in his gallery telling him, well, I'm going to be out at this time if you want to come along. And he goes out on the boats and takes photographs. This is one of his. This is called The Couple. Here's another one of his. The story was he was out on a boat with some friends, I guess, and there was a bunch of them, and he looked up and saw the galaxy up there, And he said, well, stop, stop. And they had to pause for him to take a photograph. And that was an awesome one. Here's another watercolor that I did of the Bass Harbor Lighthouse when I went over to Acadia National Park. And I had sewn this tab over here, forgetting that it couldn't stay there. I had to remove it because this opened up. So these are some pictures of going down Wonderland Trail, right down from Bass Harbor Lighthouse. I was at Bass Harbor when the sun was rising. And this is in Northeast Harbor. I went in there to try to get some lobster bisque soup in celebration of my stepfather. He and I went there, let's see, in 1992. And we went into town and we had some soup, and he's passed away since then, and I just wanted to celebrate him, but all I could find was clam chowder. I couldn't find any lobster bisque soup in town. Then I visited a garden along the way, Thua Gardens. Probably saying that wrong. This is a picture from Southwest Harbor. And then here's some more down here of some photographs. I went to Bethel, Maine. Got a little bit of a reflection there because there's some family history there in the museum. I had a relative who created family history, and then she donated it to a museum in Bethel, Maine, so I was there doing some research. And here are some postcards from when I went to the Norman Rockwell Museum. So I just attached them all together. Then you have this accordion that comes out like this. And then the other side. I took a tour into his studio in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. That was really cool. Sorry, my bird is clucking in the background, if you can hear her. Yes, you are. There's a map of the grounds. And then, again, some decoupage at the end. And the last thing I did was visit my brother. So that was a lot of work, but it was worth it because now I have a total memory of everything that I did. And probably the most amount of work was doing the actual watercolors. They take me about, 2 or 3 or 4 hours because I'm so meticulous and want to be a perfectionist about it. So, all right, well, let me cut this video off and I'll come right back. It'll be a second for you and show you the Christmas video. I'm sorry, the Christmas journal. Okay, I'm back. This is the Christmas journal that I did a year ago. It's still for sale in my Etsy shop. Sabrina Oil Works is the shop name. And let me just go through this kind of quickly because there was actually a video that was done a year ago, and I can link that at the end of the whole video here so that you can take a look at that if you want more details. So I have a wand here that I created, and it comes off with these 2 ribbons, so it can be removed. Christmas themed. Oh, let me get this guy out of the way. And this out of the way so it can lay flat. There we go. Okay, this is a bag. Apparently there are things in it for you to decorate. I'm saying apparently because, like I said, it's been a year. I don't remember what I did These were some gift bags. I recognize them. Some artwork that I did a long time ago. Oh, here's a page idea where you could stick stickies. Post-it notes, I mean. Big tag. This is a bigger book. This is a copy of a painting that I did. So this journal, it looks like, can be used for like years. You can put down Christmas or ornaments. That's what this list was here. Do Christmas Eve each year, Christmas Day. This is just, I guess, 1 year. Christmas dinner, special gifts, special moments, ornaments, yearly list, photographs, Christmas card, register. You're still doing cards. And you could do that every year or just turn it into a family thing for 1 year. There's certainly an awful lot of room to write. I would think you could do it into multiple years. Nope, this angel's attached there. And he got removed. Oh, I remember his face was showing in that little window. This is something that I did. Pastel. Another one of my paintings, a copy of it. Oil painting I did. This is a piece of artwork. Oh, there's a bookmark in here. Piece of artwork about a Christmas box in the middle with glassine protecting it. Little tag. It's from a magazine. Little gingerbread men. The other side of that artwork. Pads of paper, Christmas paper. Winter lyrics. It looks like a poem on the back about winter. Another one of my Christmas paintings. Copy of. That's from a 1904 birthday blessings book. And these are so you can put post-it notes on it. That's why there's that plastic over top of it. There's another one of my paintings. Christmas tree drawing there that I did. Another one of my paintings. Oh, here's some artwork that I did. That's charcoal and looks like maybe colored pencil or pastel. Here's a bunch of postcards and shaker. Oh, Holy Night, Away in a Manger. More little tags and my business card. That's a piece of paper there. Another one of my paintings. And this is the part that I thought that was the most fun at the end here. There's a little shadow box that I created. They're all glued in here. Cute little thing. And there's the back of it. And that's it. Well, thank you for joining me. I just thought I'd show this because I didn't know whether some of you missed this. And I kind of felt like Tim Burton doing autumn Halloween-y time and Christmas, because that's what he was experiencing, feeling in the stores when he created The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I just thought I'd show him at the same time. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I'm just trying to find out where this bookmark goes. I'm sure it goes in the middle somewhere. All right. Well, thank you. I hope you have a good day.